Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday, February 10th. And this is the Kane Kale Show, episode 209. I'm your host, Keenan Lafferty. And today is Tutorial Thoughtful Tuesday. Why are we doing a thoughtful on Tuesday? Why are we even doing a thoughtful at all? When was the last time we did one of these? Well, the reason why we're actually going to be jumping into that today, and for those of you who don't know what thoughtful days are, it's where we like to meditate. We come together as an artist community, and we don't just talk about technique. We don't just talk about painting better pictures like this Ari, right? This is probably what you're expecting, but I'm going to be taking a vacation, and coupled with a couple other projects that I've been working on, unfortunately, Ari's kind of gotten pushed to the side, but she is going to be returning in the next couple weeks. But yeah, just so you know, I have not forgotten about her. She's going to be coming back, and we'll be doing that. But today we're going to be doing a Thoughtful Thursday, and we're going to be talking about, almost forgot, we're going to be talking about how to serve yourself. How to serve yourself first, build yourself up first, build your emotions up, and then once you do that, you can then overflow. Fill your own cup, and then let your cup overflow onto the others that you surround yourself with in your life. But before we get into that, normally we do this on Tuesday, and you guys are just, there's so much artwork coming in now that I really do need to do this like every week. I can't let a week go by, otherwise I'm gonna have to scroll at like light speed. So you guys are sending in awesome stuff like this Katy Perry, really like this. Good job to Aaron Kiwikami. Loved it. And as usual, yes, thank you to everyone who has joined us on the Facebook. If you'd like to see all of these pieces for yourself, click that link or type in that tiny URL down at the bottom. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be in the description. All right, people. Let's go ahead and get into today's talk. And that is serving yourself, filling your own cup. Now, this is a subject that was actually brought up by a guy that I like to watch online who you may know as RSD Tyler. He's actually a big figure in the pickup community. However, he does a lot of stuff, not just on picking up girls, but he also does a lot of really cool things talking about how to live your life more fully, how to bring yourself into a better mental state. And one of his videos was on filling your own cup. And this is something that I've thought about a lot growing up. And I've noticed that throughout my life, I've always looked to outside stimulus. I've always looked to other people, like especially in relationships. I've noticed this happen a lot, is that I would get into relationships and I would sort of expect that person to complete me, right? Or I would expect that other person to make me feel good about myself, or I would sacrifice the things that I wanted for them so that way I could feel like I was being a good partner, right? A good boyfriend. But later on, I found out that that was not being a good partner in the relationship, but rather it was just sort of, I found it has a bad way of creating a bit of resentfulness, right? Because in your mind, it's like, oh, I do all these things for this person, and if they don't appreciate all those things, right? If they don't make me feel good and validate me, then, you know, well, like, what's up with that, right? Like, what? Why should I? Oh, well, that's the last time I make you a chicken salad, right? I make you chicken salad and you complain about how like everything's perfect. Everything's good. No, you didn't even say it was good. This is, if you couldn't tell, this actually happened. But I made chicken salad and I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But yeah, next time you should like make the chicken a little warmer. Like, and it didn't even say thank you, right? So like crap like that happens when you try your best to like, you subjugate yourself and then you try to do something in order to gain approval from someone. And that is looking for others to fill your cup for you and to serve you. Like you serve others, but for a selfish reason, like just trying to get them to tell you, oh, this is great. Oh, this is perfect. You're a great person. You're a great friend. You're a great boyfriend. Okay, but this not only applies to, actually, that was kind of nice because that lit my face. It lights my face better. I'm going to leave that screen up. This not only applies to relationships, but it applies to you yourself as a person and as an artist, because you have to come to basically whenever you start a piece or the path that you're walking to become a professional artist and get into the field, you have to understand that you have to focus on building your own skills, right? You need to focus on what am I going to provide, right, to this company, right? Well, how am I going to build myself up so that way basically my skills and my value will overflow and this company can't help but want me, right? And how am I going to go about doing that? Okay, so anyway, but today I think we'll focus a little bit more on just sort of completing yourself as a person, what you can do to do those things, because I've been through a bunch of different times in my life where, right now I'm fortunately in a position where I get to work from home. I get to work from home on one of my favorite games ever, League of Legends. I get to work on that, and I get to make my comic. And you guys get to support me by going to like the Patreon, and I get to send you cool little cards every month. Like all kinds of cool stuff is happening at this point in my life. But it wasn't always like that. And I think the point that it started to turn around for me was when I realized that nobody else was going to step in and take care of it for me. No one else was going to come in and like build my life for me. No one was going to get me that job. Nobody else was going to create my comic. Nobody else was going to tell my story. So I needed to find the confidence inside of me to make that happen. Did the stream just die? Let me know if you guys are still in here. And similarly, you can't rely on the internet. I thought the internet was fixed at this place, but apparently it's just good enough to barely stream, but it's kind of choppy. So yeah, we're working with what we got. So anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, you have to basically come from a place, like if you're going to create your best work, you have to, in a lot of ways, serving yourself, it has to do with not really necessarily looking to others, not really comparing yourself to others either. And this is a common thing that I fall into, is like, oh man, well, this artist is way better than me at this, or, oh, they have so many more followers, or they have more pledgers on Patreon, right? Like more people like them, more subscribers. It's like anything about that. And I realize now that it's not, because when I started the show, it was never really about how many subscribers am I going to get, how many viewers am I going to get. I just did it for fun. I did it to help people, and I did it but more than any of those things, I did it just for myself. I did it for myself, and I'm going to continue doing this show for myself, basically until, I want to stop. But I love making these, and I'm going to keep doing it. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about how to serve yourself, how to build yourself up and fill your own cup. So, one thing that I think a lot of people don't do enough is they don't wake up early enough necessarily. And like, I'm a prime example of this because I love to sleep in. I love to sleep in till 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And, I have a lifestyle that allows me to be able to do that if I choose. However, I've noticed that if I get up in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, that's early for me. 8 o'clock is early for me. And I get up at that time, and I'm just able to take a look. Because most people, what do? They wake up right before they got to be somewhere. Right? So they don't have time to just get up and think about their day. They don't have time to get up and think about, where they're going or what they want to actually do or plan what they're going to do that day. But when I wake up early, I have this little ritual where I get out of bed. It's usually kind of cold in my apartment, so I'll take my blanket over here. Show you this. I showed this on the Monday stream. And you guys are going to see this too. All right, it's not anything risque. I take my little riot blanket. Where's the little riot thing? Last corner there. Yeah, okay, so I take my little riot blanket. They gave this to us for Christmas. And it's cold in my apartment, right? So I'll take this thing, and I'll wrap it around myself in the morning. And then I'll just make myself a big old pot of oatmeal, right? And it's like really nice because I got this little armhole right here. It's like this little... See, it just looks like this. I look like a desert wanderer. It's my Graves cloak. And then you turn to the side and it's got this little armhole so you can like make stuff, make some eggs in the morning. And it's just really relaxing. And I can look out my window and just look at the sun and the mountains of Utah. And it's just really beautiful. And that's kind of like my first point, is that I feel like one of the most important things that you can do to build yourself up, make yourself feel good, is how often do you actually just take a moment to like look around, like look out your window, or just almost like feel present in the moment, like look at everything, look at where you are and think about everything that brought you to that exact moment, whether it's friends that you've met, or what you get to do with your job, or the hobby, the skills that you've developed. You guys are artists. Think about how far you've come and how much you've practiced to get to where you are, and think about what's even more cool is think about where you can go. Think about where you're going. And this is something that I just don't think people think about enough. They're consumed by their thoughts of the future. Their thoughts of the future are fearful thoughts. They're thinking about, oh no, what if this happens? And I'm the prime example of this because I do this all the time. It's like, oh no, what if this happens? Oh, what if I can't pay this bill? Or what if, like, and like really stupid stuff too. It's like, well, what if the sprinkler system of my apartment just like turns on for no reason and just like douses everything, just like ruins my computer, soaks the whole apartment, and everything's just like ruined, right? What if that happens? So a bunch of like, or if there's a fire, or a crazed maniac like busts in and like shoots up the place, just like a bunch of stupid, really irrational thoughts. And I think guys kind of tend to do this a lot more because we're more visual. So we'll think about, you ever notice that, like when you're in a good situation or a place where you could feel happy, sometimes you'll get these weird thoughts that'll come and like offset it. These weird thoughts that come in and offset it, and almost like your mind is trying to dodge that good feeling. Like it's telling you, oh, you don't deserve to really think about that. You don't deserve to be happy in the moment. We're going to throw something in that's going to kind of mess things up, make you think about something else. And that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But I've touched on it a little bit, actually. It's kind of like, I call it the upper limit, or I heard it called the upper limit, and it's touched on in a book called The Big Leap. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys ever feel like you should be enjoying life more, but you're kind of held back by these thoughts of doubt or worry, or especially like irrational things, like super stupid irrational things happening, check out the book called The Big Leap. You can search it, and it'll be like a little goldfish jumping out of a thing, and it'll describe that. It tells you how to live your life a little bit better, and it opens your mind as to why you get those thoughts. Okay, so we talked about building yourself up, filling your own cup by just enjoying what's outside, right? Sunlight itself, like if you go out and just take a walk, sometimes, like what's really nice is the grocery store is right next to me. So I will go down there and get groceries sometimes, or when I'm delivering mail, the UPS store is right there too. So I have a lot of opportunities for me to actually get out of my house and just take a little walk. And it's only for like 10 minutes. And you'll come back feeling refreshed. So the next thing that I want to talk about, serving yourself, is understanding that, let's see, what else can we talk about? I don't want to babble for too long because I want to open up to questions, and then I want to answer your questions. So, in fact, I think we might just do that right now. So you know what time it is? It's time for the question catapult! Oh yeah, we're back on that Google Fiber, baby. No lag. No lag allowed in this stream. So cast your questions over the castle walls if you didn't get the instructional video. Cast your questions over the castle walls, and I will answer them. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue with some other things, specifically pertaining to art. Let's go back to art. Filling your own cup, I think, really has to do with making sure that no matter what you do, you are building your own style, right? Because you're going to have a lot of people that tell you, oh, why are you working in that style? Or that's weird. Like me, for all the time, my teachers are saying, oh, you don't want to work in anime. There's no future in that. You're going to move to Japan and do animation. You're going to work in little cartoons for kids. You're going to work on Pokemon, And it was like, I heard that, but I was like, no, I just like it. I don't even know why I don't even know why I like it. I just do. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And you got to make sure that you always find time to not only do personal work, but there's going to come a time in your life where there is something that you are supposed to bring to this world. That I cannot stress that enough. There is an idea, a story to tell, some sort of invention, or you are meant to make your mark on the world. It's not meant for just special people, right? Everybody has something to bring. And if you don't take the time to realize that, or take the time to plan how you're going to go about bringing that to the world, something as simple, for me, it's a comic, right? Something as simple as that. If you don't take time to do that, then you will not truly be fulfilled in life. You will not truly be fulfilled. You got to find your passion. You got to find the thing that you're going to do that really fulfills you, and make sure you don't lose track of that. And it's tough, trust me, because of course you gotta basically bend it around all the other things, like your essentials. It's like, well, I gotta work here to pay the bills. And it's like, that takes up 8 hours of my day. And then I come home and I gotta eat, and I gotta catch up on the latest episode of Game of Thrones. I mean, come on, right? And I gotta sleep in until about 10 minutes the next day before I go to work. Like, make sure that you understand that if it's kind of a sad thing. It might be a little bit bleak to say, but like, if it really was a priority for you, then you would make the time for it. Like, you just have to, right? Like, it got to the point for me where I got so fed up of pushing off my dreams and what I wanted to do for myself. And I was so sick of the way that my life was working out at the time that I just decided to change everything. I changed everything that day. And I said, I'm quitting this job. I'm not going to work here anymore. I've worked my entire life to get here. And today I walk away from it. And that's a point that everybody has to, like, I mean, it's not necessarily walking away from your job, but big changes happen. Big changes happen in everybody's life. And I want you to view those, right? And this also has to do with filling your own cup. You can call it being positive or whatever you want it to be. But I truly believe that everything that happens, there's something to be gained from it. There's always like that golden nugget that you got to find and you got to take it out, right? The big changes, things that put you out of your comfort zone, that's when you start thinking more smart. Like, you start becoming very clever with thinking of how you're going to get to where you want to go. Because before, it was kind of this pattern. You fall into habits. This is just like the way human nature is for some reason, is that we get into a pattern and then our natural instinct is just to stay there, get comfortable, right? Leech off of this little piece of energy, right, for the rest of your life. And yet when we get kicked off of that, whether it's by voluntary or involuntary, then we get really clever about getting to where we want to go. So I'd ask you guys to consider that. All right. Oh, Travis. Travis is asking. He's asking a question about the Maokai visual update. And, I mean, why not? I'll touch on it. I am the artist, so I guess, whatever. Usually we like to keep it to thoughtful stuff. But since you're the only one asking right now, then we'll just jump into that. Okay, so the values changed just because I did time-lapse. I just didn't time-lapse that part. You're probably talking about where it changes from like purple to blue. I just did like some hue shifts in Photoshop, and then I just kind of did a little paint over. But yeah, that's it for now. All right, next question coming in from Matthew. Matthew is asking, what do you think to get up when you are unmotivated and you lose motivation to finish an art piece? All right, so this is a good question. What do I think of to get my motivation going? Okay, so this is a great example. Okay, because this is something, okay. I'm so excited to talk about this because it's like something that just happens all the time. You might look at me and be like, whoa, Keenan is a professional. He never makes mistakes. He just says, hey, I'm going to draw this. And then he sits down and he does it. And it's perfect. It's awesome. And he didn't struggle at all. He didn't have creative confidence issues. He didn't try to like delay it or procrastinate at all. He just sat down and did it. And what I'm trying to get at here is that it never actually goes away. Your lack of what you call lack of motivation is just a natural thing that's always going to be there. Like whenever you sit down to do something, it's like I said, it's that human nature to always just stay comfortable. And it wants to pull you back, right? You're going to start something new. No, let's just bring you back here. You don't want to change. You don't want to do something new. Just stay where you are. Don't worry about improving your skills. Don't worry about, because if you do, then heaven forbid, you might actually get a job doing what you love. And that would be a big change. And you're still alive right here. Right? This is what I think it really does. It's like, as long as you are alive, then your body will try to just keep you planted in that state, just to try to, out of survival. But no, I get this every time. And the solution that I've found is, say, when I'm going to sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to do this Maokai visual update. Let's go. The best thing that I've found to do is to just get started. Like, don't worry about even necessarily where you're going to go, but just like start sketching in shape, start drawing. Like, even if you just sit down and start scribbling, right? Or another thing that I've actually found that helps is if you've been sitting and staring at your computer for a few hours, grab yourself a little sketchbook, right? And then go outside, go to the park, or just go, for me, I just go and sit at my kitchen table. Just kind of have a little bit of a change of scenery, and then just kind of start sketching some stuff. Sketch up like a face, or sketch up just some designs, and you might find that, oh, hey, that looks kind of cool. And then one thing compounds and builds off another, and then before you know it, you've got something rolling. You've got some momentum going. The hardest part of getting anything started is pushing it, right? You got to get that momentum started. But, just like in physics, the hardest part is getting it moving, getting this giant boulder moving. And then once it starts rolling, it's easy to keep it moving. So consider that. The hardest part is often the first step. Once you take that first step, it just the rest, everything follows. It's like jumping out of an airplane. First step, the rest, gravity takes care of the rest. All right. Colin the Bin is up next, asking, how do you get over the feeling that your art piece is not good? For example, I always get depressed of my art piece because I found myself way better on paper. Oh, okay. Well, if you're making the traditional to digital jump, right, that's obviously going to be very daunting sometimes because, obviously you're working with a tablet, right? You got to, now instead of drawing straight on this paper, now your tablet is right here and you're looking forward, and you got to have the hand-eye coordination. So understand that, first of all, it's just going to be practice. But second of all, you want to consider that if you really do like drawing on pen and paper, then you can easily get a scanner. You can scan it in, and then you can use Photoshop to just do your colors and stuff like that, which I've seen a lot of people do with great success. So don't necessarily feel like you have to change. If you're better on pen with pencil and paper, laying down your line work, then do that. But if you really want to transition over to digital, then no, it's just going to take time, just like any other skill. And eventually you'll get it, my friend. So don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. Don't lose motivation. All right. Yeah. So we're going to start wrapping up here. We've been going for about 25 minutes. That's good. It's a good thoughtful. I've babbled a lot. I don't even know if half the stuff I said today even makes like coherent sense. It's been so long since I've actually done one of these because, to be honest, I mean, you could say I wasn't filling my own cup. And I was like, man, do people even really like these thoughtful things? I don't know. I was like, maybe I should just stop the show altogether. Nobody really likes this stuff. I just suck, And I was letting all these silly thoughts get to me. And, it's another one of those reasons why, because it's like, I know that those thoughts will always come back, and it's like, is it even really that good? Yeah, I got 14,000 subscribers, but do they really know what the show is about? Maybe it's just by luck, It's like silly, stupid stuff. And those thoughts, again, like I said, the creative confidence issues, self-doubt, things that kind of, you'll try to break yourself down. And it's something that will happen for the rest of your life. So, speaking of filling your own cup, I almost forgot the most important part. So if you stayed to this point, I congratulate you, because I'm about to give you the biggest secret to the whole thing, to having motivation, lasting motivation. And that is that you have to realize that willpower actually always runs out. You can get super motivated about creating, building your portfolio, about improving your skills and doing this and that and quitting your job and making a comic, right? But eventually you got to understand that willpower, that sheer willpower, is eventually going to run out. It's going to run dry. So the way that you keep yourself going is by figuring out what reasons you're doing it for. Figure out your reasons for why you're doing something, and you write them down in a journal, right, that has a little giraffe on it. Get yourself a journal. Actually ask yourself the reasons for why you do stuff. Why do you want it? Like, you want to know the truth? Ask why 3 times. It's like, why do you want to improve your skills as an artist? Because I want to have a job. Why? Because I want to be fulfilled, right? I want to be fulfilled doing what I love, and I want to make money. And why? And then you get to the real root of the issue, right? And it's like, because I feel if I'm fulfilled and I'm doing what I love, that I'll have a happy life, right? And I'll have something to offer. And that's really what you want. You want to be happy and have a fulfilled life. So figure out the reasons why you do stuff. One of my main reasons for why I do what I do is because I want to be a good influence and a good example on my little brothers, right? They're also artists, and I want them to be able to look at what I've done, right, from where I started. I didn't go to college. I taught myself. I figured it out. And I got a job working for one of the biggest video games in the world. So if I can do it, then any of you guys out there can do it too, because there's nothing really that special about me other than I just had that drive. But then more importantly, I had those reasons. So consider who you're doing it for. Are you doing it for family? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it because of the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself? Imagine what lifestyle that you want and what it's going to take to get you there. And then enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey all the way there, right? Because you're going to have a full cup of positive emotions all the way there. And you're going to love your life. All righty then. So I think we're going to go ahead and end. I feel that was a good ending. So thank you guys for joining me live on Twitch as usual. People on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Ken Lafferty. I will see you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be taking a vacation this next week. So I will not be filming this next week. This whole next week, I will be back on Monday actually. So we won't be doing actually, maybe we could do League of Legends. I'm going to be in San Francisco. We'll have an internet connection. I'll have an internet connection so we can play League on Sunday. But yeah, next week I'll be off. I'll be back the following Monday. I'll see you guys then. Till that time comes, you guys stay sharp. See ya.